Hello. My name is Natalie Carlier, and I'm the South Florida Regional Field Coordinator for the Civic Engagement Department of the National Council of La Raza. I am in charge of the daily voter registration operations of the organization, including managing canvassers in the field. I've been doing this work for 3 years, but this year has been different than the rest. Since the passage of HB 1355, we have gone to great pains to ensure we are able to comply with the new requirements on voter registration groups, but we have come across many difficulties in doing so. Every day, after a 7-hour-long canvass where we would collect around 300 voter registration forms, we would have to go through each one and do a quality control check to ensure we were not violating the law. This added hours sometimes to an already long day. If our canvass was on a Friday or a Saturday, we would often have to come back to the office on the weekend and be sure that every single form was ready to be turned in by Monday when the Department of Elections opened. I would arrive at 8 a.m. just to be sure. These days were hard. Often I was the only one in the office until 11 p.m. or midnight some days. Every 2 days, I was driving an hour out of my way just to go to the supervisor of elections and turn in forms. It was exhausting. But what made the days even harder than that wasn't just the inconvenience in driving. It was a daily face-to-face with the people we were trying to register. Every time a voter asked if they could take a voter registration form home with them to fill out, or take 2 to register a son or a daughter, we had to say no. When we explained that the law prevented us from handing out voter registration forms and not returning the exact number we brought with us, people didn't understand. Sometimes they were angry. It just didn't make sense to them. Frankly, it didn't make sense to me. It didn't make sense because I remember when in 2008, on the morning of Election Day, my mother rushed into my room at 6 a.m. to force me out of bed because we were going to go vote together. She wanted to be right there when the polls opened because she wanted to make sure she would have a chance to cast her vote. We stood in line together that day, waiting for the polls to open, and I realized then that my mom had come a long way from Colombia to the U.S. to let her voice be heard. And if it was important enough for her, it was important enough for me. I do this work today for her and for so many others who have come a long way to let their voice be heard. And despite the inconveniences and the challenges we may face, we continue to move forward to ensure everyone's voice is heard this November. Let people vote.